The story begins with two sisters named Spider and Jessie. In front of them lies the dead body of their mother. They stay silent for a moment, not knowing what to do. Then Spider, trying to stay calm, tells Jessie they have to move her. Together, the sisters carry their mother's body to a nearby lodge. They put her carefully inside a trunk and close the lid. Jessie cries quietly, kisses her mother one last time, and takes the necklace from her neck. Both know they cannot tell anyone about what happened. If the truth comes out, the authorities will take them away and send them to different foster homes. They would lose each other, and that is something they cannot allow. Later, they sit down to eat something, but they barely touch their food. Suddenly, their mother's phone starts ringing. It is a call from someone named Diti. Spider looks at the screen and ignores it. The next morning, while getting ready for school, Spider tells Jessie to take off the necklace and warns her not to wear it outside. On their way, she reminds Jessie not to tell anyone about their mother. But later that day, Spider ends up telling her friend Alexis the truth. She makes Alexis promise to keep it secret. Spider believes she can take care of Jessie, just like she always has. That evening, Jessie returns home with her friend's grandmother. Spider gets angry and asks, what if she came inside and saw everything? Jessie says nothing, feeling guilty. After that, Spider begins to make dinner, but there is barely enough food left. They only have enough to last 6 days until their next allowance arrives. Just then, there is a knock on the door. Spider opens it and finds Diti, her mother's boyfriend. He asks if their mom is home. Spider lies, saying she left an hour ago with another woman. Diti looks suspicious and asks if she is telling the truth. Spider insists she is. He says to tell her mother to call him, then leaves. After he goes, both sisters stand still, scared that he might come back again. Spider, upset and nervous, yells at Jessie, but later she finds her sister crying next to the trunk, asking, what will we do now? Spider tells her that Diti is a drug addict and will move on once he realizes their mother isn't interested anymore. To make Jessie feel better, Spider takes her shopping when the money comes. They buy groceries and for the first time in weeks, enjoy a proper meal. While they eat, a boy named Cody takes their picture. Spider asks what he is doing. She notices his camera is an old film camera, not digital. Cody takes it back quickly and walks away. Days later, Spider and Jessie continue managing their lives. They receive around $600 each month under the names of 3 different family members. One afternoon, there is another knock at the door. Spider opens it with a baseball bat in her hand. It's just the pastor giving out church pamphlets. Startled, she shuts the door, but the man keeps talking through it. Jessie appears, and the pastor invites them to a church pizza night happening next week. Jessie looks excited, but Spider says no. Jessie reminds her that they used to go to church with their mother on Christmas and Easter, and that their mom once dressed Spider in a purple dress with white ruffles. Jessie gets emotional and whispers that maybe their mom isn't lying in the shed. Maybe she's in heaven. That night, Spider dreams of her mother and wakes up suddenly, calling out, Mama. The next morning, the phone rings again. This time, it's child services. A woman from the department says she will visit their house soon to see if their mother is taking good care of them. Jessie calls them baby snatchers. Both panic. Spider rushes to clean their mother's messy room. While cleaning, they find a teaching certificate. Their mother used to be a teacher before addiction ruined her life. Spider decides to tell the officer that their mom went out for a job interview at a bank, but Jessie points out that their mother's car is still outside, so they decide to hide it. Spider doesn't know how to drive, but Jessie helps her by giving direction. They manage to move the car and hide it behind a building. When the officer arrives, she asks questions about their mother. Both girls describe her as loving and responsible. The officer checks every room, looks inside the fridge, and even enters their mom's room. Before leaving, she tells them to make sure their mother calls her. After she leaves, Spider tells Jessie not to worry, saying that social workers never stay long on the job and the next one will probably not even know them. Meanwhile, in another part of town, police officers find a dead man and an injured woman inside a car. In the back seat are 2 small children. The sheriff in charge of the case is Ben, who happens to be the father of Spider's friend Alexis. That same night, Spider goes to their house for dinner. Ben asks if her mother is coming to pick her up. Spider says no, so Ben offers to drop her home. On the way, he mentions that he knew their mother in high school and used to cheat off her in exams. He says he would like to meet her again. Spider lies, saying her mom has a bank interview tomorrow and is nervous. When Spider gets home, Jessie scolds her for bringing the sheriff to their house. Later that night, as Jessie falls asleep, Spider whispers, sorry. Jessie says it's the first time she's ever heard Spider apologize. They both laugh softly. Jessie asks, how long can we keep this up? But Spider has no answer. The next day, Spider goes to the bus station and asks about ticket prices, saying she wants to go somewhere far away. When asked her age, she says 15 and walks out. Later, she runs into Cody again. He shows her the photos he took and says he likes taking pictures of people and places. He asks if she wants to join him next time. Spider refuses. At home, Jessie sits quietly holding their mom's necklace. She asks why Spider is so angry with their mother. Spider answers because she made bad choices. A few days later, Jessie finds a photo Cody took of her and Spider together. She teases Spider, asking if Cody likes her. Spider shrugs and says he asked her to go out, but she said no. Jessie tells her to go next time. The following day, Cody comes to their house with an old bike. He takes Spider to a forest to take pictures. On the way, he stops to deliver an envelope. In the woods, he teaches her how to use his camera. Meanwhile, Sheriff Ben stops by the sisters' home. He finds no one there, but notices their mother's car and the nearby lodge. Before he can investigate further, he is called away to another case. Back in the forest, Spider and Cody print photos in a small shop. Among the photos is one of a man named Dennis who makes fake certificates. When they finish, Cody gives Spider a small digital camera, telling her she can keep it for a while. Later, Jesse jokes about Spider's day out. Things feel calm for a short time, but one afternoon, while they are eating fries outside, Ree suddenly appears. He demands to know why their mother hasn't called him and says she owes him $300. He tells Spider to give him the money by Friday. The sisters panic. They barely have enough for food. The next day, Spider goes to a pawn shop and sells Cody's camera for $50. She then pawns her mother's necklace to get the rest. That night, she meets Ree to pay him. When she approaches his van, he suddenly steps out from behind it. He takes the money and mocks her, asking where her mother really is. He tells her that if her mom were clean, she would never let Spider come here alone. His words hurt her deeply. She runs away crying. When she reaches home, she kicks the trunk and yells, "I hate you." Jesse hugs her tightly and asks if Ree will leave them alone now. Spider says yes quietly, though she isn't sure. The next day, Spider searches online about adoption. She learns that once she turns 18, she can legally adopt Jesse herself. Meanwhile, their mother's phone rings again. It's Sheriff Ben. The following day, Spider visits Dennis, the man who forges fake IDs. She tells him she needs documents showing she is 18. He agrees, but wants money she doesn't have. He asks why she needs them, but she doesn't explain. Back home, Spider tells Alexis her plan. She wants to get fake IDs, move somewhere else, and adopt Jesse herself. Alexis cries, but promises to keep it secret. Later, Spider buys a camera and returns it to Cody. He says she didn't need to, but Spider insists. He asks her out again, and she agrees. They spend the day taking pictures, and for a while, Spider feels almost normal. But one day, the child services officer comes back. She finds no one home and sees the lodge nearby. Spider and Jesse are hiding there. The officer warns that if she doesn't hear from their mom by evening, she call the sheriff. Spider panics and goes to Dennis's house, but he isn't there. When she returns, Jesse asks about the necklace. Spider admits she sold it. Jesse gets upset and says it meant everything to their mother. Spider argues that their mother only cared about drugs. Jesse refuses to believe her, but Spider reminds her of the times their mother forgot them and how Jesse's asthma came from their mom's addiction. Jesse runs outside crying, gasping for breath. Her inhaler is empty. Spider calls 911, then drives her to the hospital. Doctors take Jesse in, but refuse to give Spider details because she is not an adult. Later, Sheriff Ben arrives and tells Spider that Jesse is safe. She breaks down and says, "Please don't separate us." After Jesse is discharged, Ben takes both sisters home. His wife says they should stay until a family is found for them, but Ben explains that there are already too many children waiting for homes, and sisters rarely stay together. The next morning, Spider decides to run away with Jesse. She collects her fake IDs and goes to school to pick her up, but Jesse has already gone home. Spider packs their bags. Jesse refuses to leave, saying she doesn't want to start over again. Spider, angry and scared, slaps her. Suddenly, Ree breaks in, accusing Spider of keeping her mother's money and threatening her. Before he can harm her, Jesse attacks him. Spider grabs a bat and hits him. Afterward, Jesse wakes up weak and scared. She tells Spider she doesn't want to run anymore. They sit together quietly and begin singing one of their mother's songs. Finally, they decide to tell the police the truth. The authorities take their mother's body away. Sheriff Ben talks to them after and tells Spider, "Everything you did was to keep your family together." At the funeral, both sisters place flowers on their mother's coffin. Cody arrives and stands nearby. Spider holds the necklace with a photo of her and Jesse inside. She puts it around her neck. The sisters stand side by side as the story ends.